Hello everyone and welcome to part number 2 in our cruise in the Adriatic Sea. Today we will dock in Corfu. We start off with a nice breakfast in the a la carte restaurant before we headed ashore. Our ship was docked further away in the port, but you can take a little shuttle bus in the port area to the main terminal. It's about 2 kilometers to the city center, but we did choose to walk to explore a little bit of the area just close by the port. After a little walk, we were in the city center of Corfu. It's a cozy little town with lots of restaurants and shops where you can buy everything touristic that you ever don't need. Everything from beach towels to refrigerator magnets. Here by the old fortress, it's where the shuttle bus that you can buy tickets from with MSC. You have this really wonderful garden and museum. What a spectacular view over the sea and the islands outside. During our walk in the town, we did choose not to go out to the peninsula and the old fortress. We instead headed back to the ship, but on another way along the seaside. The sea breeze and the view from the seaside was just wonderful. We took the shuttle bus from the cruise terminal out to the ship. Marella Cruises or TUI Group has their turnaround port here in Corfu, so it was lots of British guests that embark and disembark during our stay here in port. Back on board the ship and the air condition, we headed up to the discotheque to enjoy the view and something nice to drink. Lots of guests were out on excursion during this time, so we had the whole ship almost by ourselves. We had about 30 degrees Celsius or 87 Fahrenheit, so it was nice and cool to be inside the ship after some time at the pool deck. Soon enough it was time to departure. We set sail to our next port. During this dinner I actually did choose the T-bone steak, which is an extra charge of 18 euros, but the T-bone steak was just lovely and tender. And I think it was worth every single euro. During this evening it was themed white party, and it's a really enjoyable night with everyone dressed in white clothes. We enjoyed some beverages on the pool deck, but soon enough it was time to head to bed, because we were quite tired after a really hot day ashore. We woke up when the crew prepared the tender service shuttle boats, and we enjoyed a breakfast and then headed to our tender boats. Even this time we got this priority ticket for the tender service, which allows us to go to whatever tender departure we want and don't have to take a queue number. That's one of the best perks that you got when you have this Voyager Club. It was a quite short tendering, about 5 minutes. And soon enough we were in the marina and enjoyed some of the yachts that were docked here. As we normally do when we are in port, we try to walk in the neighborhood areas where the people actually live and they have their daily life. But the city is not so big, so we were quite soon enough at the main city shopping area, and I must say it was very picturesque and really nice. Lots of restaurants and bars and boutiques. And we really appreciate this mall housing, which makes it a little bit more cozy if you compare to the main shopping street at home in Malmö. We continued our walk along the seaside, but it was very hot, so I actually did take a little dip with the feet in the sea. Time to tender back to the ship, and it was lots of people that were out on excursions, so I thought it would be nice to just enjoy the calmness of the ship. Back on board we headed to the cabin to change our clothes, and it was really nice to be on the air-conditioned ship again. It was a light breeze in the pool area, so we enjoy a lunch al fresco before heading to the pools. And the temperature in the pool was about 25 degrees, so it was nice and cooling. And as always, we enjoyed a nice cocktail in the atmosphere bar before heading to dinner. This time we will eat in Kaito Sushi, which is included when you are a diamond member in Voyager Club, and you were presented with a really nice 7-course set menu. The food was delicious, and we were stuffed like Christmas turkeys when we left the restaurant and headed up to disco. Here the officers and staff invited us as black members to a special cocktail party when you can meet and greet the senior staff of MSC Lirica. During this cruise we were 35 diamond guests on board. After a really nice evening we woke up in Bari, Italy. We actually been in Bari a couple of times before during other cruises, and we have never left the ship. And why change this? We chose to stay on board this last day on the cruise. We enjoyed a really nice a la carte breakfast and just walked around the ship and enjoyed the really nice sun. Bari is one of the main turnaround ports, so we were shifting about 1,500 guests here. Because of the turnaround port, it was completely empty on the pool deck in the beginning, so we enjoyed the time in the pool and just relaxed before the new guests arrive. I really like these days, when you see new guests come on board and see what they have ahead of them on the first day of the cruise. The excitement and curiosity on what will happen the next days on board. After a really nice lunch, we set sail for Venice. We departed already at 1 o'clock, so we spent the whole afternoon at sea. MSC Lirica takes approximately 2,500 guests, so it's lots of new guests that are strolling around and get to know the ship, and all the practicalities that you need to know when you embark. Time for our last dinner here on board, and we're really thankful for our table neighbors, which was lovely and made the dinners really enjoyable. And we also celebrated one of our table neighbors that turned 40 this day, with song and entertainment from the crew. Time for us to head to our lovely bars and say thank you and goodbye to the lovely crew that have helped us and served us during this cruise. Back to the cabin and pack the last thing and put your suitcase outside your cabin door before heading to bed. Good morning, Venice. Soon enough we will arrive in Venice. During this cruise they serve a continental breakfast up in the discotheque, which is a really perfect view to enjoy this scenery, where we sail along the coastline into Venice and to the container port, which is not so picturesque. This part of the ship is normally dedicated to topsail lounge, which gives passengers in Aurea Spa a special treatment, but during morning and evenings it is open for all the guests. After a really enjoyable breakfast and walk in the morning, we headed up to the discotheque to enjoy the sceneries when we sail in this narrow way into the port. Because of the size of the ship and fairway, we have one tug in the bow and one tug connected to the stern of the ship while entering into this container port. We enjoyed our last glass of champagne before it was time to tender back to Venice Cruise Terminal. The disembarkation was really smooth and it was quite okay weather, not too hot yet, because the time was about 10 o'clock in the morning. So we could actually enjoy the boat ride back to the central of Venice. By the time we arrived at the cruise terminal, our luggage was actually arriving at the same time. We hope you like this video from MSC Lirica in the Adriatic Sea, and looking forward to see you again soon.